So let's recite together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the sublime, the victorious, and the totally self-enlightened one. Okay, welcome everyone. Good to see you all. And today we are going to start another section of chapter 9, which is the analysis of development. We'll talk about Samatha meditation as well as Vipassana meditation. So first of all, we are going to talk about Samatha Bhavana, which is the development of Samatha meditation. Since we have already looked at the 40 types of different meditation objects, now we are going to look at what happens and during the meditation process and how the jhana is being achieved after taking this meditation, whatever, any kind of these 40 kinds as the object of the meditation, of Samatha meditation, yeah? Okay, so concerning Samatha meditation, there are 3 stages of development, 3 stages of mental development, bhavana. Now let's take a look at this Pali word, bhavana first. Bhavana means development or that which ought to be developed. So it has 2 meanings here. It means the development itself, so the meditation itself, and it also means that which ought to be developed. So it has 2 meanings, bhavana. These 3 stages for Samatha meditation, the first one is called the preliminary development, parikamma bhavana. And then we have the access or neighborhood development, upachara bhavana. It's called access or neighborhood because it's already very close to jhana. It's not yet jhana, but it's very close. And then we have absorption development, appana bhavana, and that is already jhana. So we have these 3 stages and 3 kinds of development for Samatha meditation. I will look at it more in details. So let's use the help of a timeline and see what happens when the person takes Samatha meditation object and start to practice. So say this girl here, let's say she takes the earth kasina as an object. So she looks at the object again and again and again, focusing the mind on this object, thinking earth, 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 and look at it and then close your eyes and then look at it again, close your eyes, look at it again. So at this stage, the object that she's taking, this actually this earth disc, the disc itself is called the preliminary sign. Parikamma nimitta. Maybe you have heard this word nimitta, right? For Samatha meditation, there are 3 signs now you will see. So this preliminary sign, parikamma nimitta, is the actual meditation object that she's taking in the very beginning. No? So she's looking at it, closing her eyes, looking at it. And then at some point, this image will be imprinted in the mind. So at this point, she doesn't need this physical disc anymore because when she closes her eyes, she can see clearly that image exactly as it looks, exactly as how the earth disc look. So at this point, the sign has become a memorized sign, or sometimes it's called a learned sign. So ugaha nimitta in Pali. At this point, she continues to meditate, focusing the mind on this already memorized image. Then she continues concentrating, and then the 5 hindrances will become weaker and weaker and weaker. And then the 5 jhanangas, the jhana factors, will become stronger and stronger. And when the mind becomes clearer and clearer, the object, this memorized sign, this object will also start to transform in the mind. It will become clearer and clearer and clearer as the mind gets clearer. So it will at some point get to the point that it becomes like a very clear, polished mirror. And at that time, when the 5 hindrances are totally being suppressed, then this very clear image will appear in the mind, and that is called the counterpart sign, the Patibhaga Nimitta. Okay, so until here, from the very beginning when she started taking this Samatha meditation until just before the 5 hindrances are totally suppressed, until here is called the preliminary development, Parikama Bhavana. So it's like the preparation stage, preparation stage. Then after the mind has become clear and the counterpart sign has appeared, 5 hindrances has been suppressed, then the person continues to focus on this counterpart sign and continue to practice and practice and practice. Then at some point, the jhana mental process will arise. Now, if you remember, the jhana mental process, it arises like bhavanga, then mano dvara vajana, the mind door averting chitta, then we have parikama, upachara, anuloma, gotrabhu, and then jhana. No? So that's the preparation, access, conformity, then the gotrabhu is the changing lineage, and then the jhana it will arise. No? So from when the counterpart sign appeared until gotrabhu, it is called the access or neighborhood development. So upachara bhavana until here. In the first attainment process, jhana chitta arises only once and then it will fall back to bhavanga stream. Then later on, if the person decides to practice again and enter into jhana samapatti, then there will be a lot of jhana. At that time, there will be jhana. And then all those already in jhana stage is called the absorption development, apana bhavana. So here you see that the jhana mental process, the first jhana mental process is actually in the middle, it's being divided into two kind of development. So we have 3 development here from the very beginning until just before the 5 hindrances are being suppressed. It's called the parikama development, preliminary development, parikama bhavana. Then from when the counterpart sign appeared until the gotrabhu chitta of the first jhana mental process, just before the jhana chitta arises, that is called the access or neighborhood development. And then when jhana chitta appears, then that becomes the apana bhavana, absorption development. Okay, so here there is a little detail. We will take the first attainment process and we'll take a look. Adhikama jhana viti, the first attainment process of any jhana. It could be the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, or any. So during this process, the first 4 javana chittas here, they are still kamavachara kusala chitta with wisdom. And when jhana appears, the jhana chitta arises, then that jhana will be either rupavachara or arupavachara kusala chitta at that time. If the person is practicing rupa vachara jhana, then it will be rupa vachara. And if it is if the person is practicing arupa, then it will be arupa chitta accordingly. And here, usually for a person who is not an arahant, will be kusala chitta. If a person is already an arahant, then it will be kriya chitta. No, but the main point here is that in this one mental process, you see we have 2 different types, 2 different categories of chittas. These ones are still kamavachara kusala chitta, but these ones are already rupavachara or arupavachara kusala or kriya chittas. No? Okay, you can also see the 3 stages with the help of mental process. And let's take a look of it. In the beginning, when we practice Samatha meditation, it will be the kamavachara mind door process. No, it's still the sense sphere mind door process. So the person continues to practice. So you see it's a mind door mental process. Javana. So the person is trying to keep the mind focused on the preliminary sign, let's say the earth kasina here at this point. Then at some point, the sign is being memorized, and that's called the Ugaha Nimitta, memorized sign. And then the mind, it continues to run different kinds of different mind or mental process, but here still sense sphere, right? Okay, so at some point, the 5 hindrances will be weakened. And then until then, that's called the parikama development. Until the 5 hindrances are being totally being very much weakened. And then after that, when together with the counterpart sign, the appearance of the counterpart sign, the 5 hindrances will be totally suppressed, and then the 5 jhana factors will be well developed. So at this point, one have entered the access or neighborhood development, upachara bhavana. Then after that, the process continue. So the meditator continue to focus on this counterpart sign and continue to meditate, practicing and practicing. So more mind door process will continue to arise one after the other. So practice and practice and practice. And then the 5 jhana factors will get stronger and stronger and more stable. The mind will become so one-pointed at this counterpart sign that at some point, first attainment jhana mental process will arise. Until just before the arising of the first jhana mental process, it is still sense sphere mind door process right here in terms of mind door process. This is still kamavachara. But for the jhana mental process, although these ones are still kusala, but now this ones is the jhana process. Okay, so up till the gotrabhuchita, it is still called the access development or neighborhood development. So upachara bhavana until here. Then when jhana chitta arise, that is called the absorption development, apana bhavana. Okay, so after the first jhana chitta arise, then it will fall back to bhavanga. And then if the person decide, then he or she can get into the samapajana jhana viti, which the person can stay in that jhana for as long as the person wishes, no? So absorption development. So he or she can stay for 1 hour, 2 hour, any duration. And at that time, there will be a lot of jhana chittas in that jhana absorption process. Okay, so this is the apana bhavana. Okay, so basically we are looking at the same thing, but just in a different graphical presentation. So you see from the beginning until before the 5 hindrances are being suppressed, that's the parikama bhavana. Then we have the upachara bhavana and then apana bhavana. Now here there's only one point that we have to be careful because you see we have 3 signs, right? We have the preliminary sign, memorized or learned sign, counterpart sign. So we have 3 signs and we have 3 development. So sometimes we might get confused that it might be parallel. So preliminary sign when it is preliminary development and then memorized sign with access development. Actually, it's not like that. Preliminary sign and memorized sign, and these 2 appears both during the parikama bhavana, preliminary development. Then when it gets into accessed development, the counterpart sign will appear, and during absorption development, the object that the meditator is taking is still the counterpart sign here. Yes, Amar?
So during absorption, you drop the sign?
No, in the jhana, still the object the person is taking is still the counterpart sign.
Okay, because you're not showing there.
Yeah, sorry. I think this one maybe I should put the line just until here. This is to separate the 2 types of development, but the sign is still the same here. Okay.
So during jhana, whatever object the meditator took will be there, right, throughout the.
Yes, will be the counterpart sign of that particular object. For example, if this person is taking the earth kasina, so the counterpart sign will be something like a polished mirror. So at that time, this one has already become a panyati, a concept, and it is not the physical disc anymore. It's quite different from the original object. Yeah. So this panyati, this concept will be the meditation object for this practice and for the jhana also, same object, that concept.
Until the up to fourth jhana only, right? After that, it will be arupavachara.
If Yes. We are going to look at which type of object will lead to which kind of jhana. So at that time, we will see that there are some objects that cannot lead to the highest jhana. I mean the highest rupa jhana. So at that point, when one must switch, no. But if we use the same object that can take us until the highest jhana, then it is okay. Then we stay with the same object. Yes, Claudia.
Sorry, just a quick question. When I meditate, sometimes I see colors like blue, very intense blue, yellow, red. They just move. Maybe I see blue before and then yellow and then red. But I never practice. And then, like sometimes the blue become really, is like take a lot of space in the sense that it is expanding a lot. But I never practice samatha. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is possible to experience colors without practicing samatha? Or
I cannot give you an exact answer because I'm not a meditation teacher. But it is possible. It is possible that one sees colors when the mind is concentrated, even if we are practicing samatha or not. I have heard teachers saying that it could be the mind that is concentrated and seeing different kinds of color, or it could also be the light. If you're not in a room that is dark, so there are sunlight or there are different lights coming in. So it is also possible because of the light, even though we have eyes closed, but with the light from outside, it is also possible that we see different colors inside. So
yes, I was outside. In fact, I was outside.
if you are, especially if you're outdoor, yeah. So it might be because of the environment light or something. But if you want to know whether this has anything to do with concentration or with meditation, then it's better to consult with a meditation teacher, I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Claudia. All right, we have finished the 3 stages of the Samatha Bhavana, Samatha development, the preliminary access or neighborhood and absorption. So do you have any question here? All good? So when a person takes up a Samatha meditation object, and then until jhana, the person will go through these 3 stages of practice, of development. Okay, so now let's take a look at which kind of objects will lead to which kind of jhana. The first group, the 10 kasinas, here we have earth, water, wind, fire, space, and light. Then we have the 4 colors, blue, yellow, red, and white. So these 10 types of kasina object can lead one to the first, from the first to the 5th jhana. So these objects can be objects for the meditation practice until the highest rupavachara jhana. So 1st to 5th, it is possible. Then let's see, how about the other objects? Well, these ones are quite neutral. So the mind can take them and then practice from the 1st to the 5th. Then if we look at another group, which is the asubha, the fullness of the body, as well as the kaya gata sati, the 32 parts of the body, it is said that these kind of objects, they are quite rough and gross for the mind. So it is necessary for the mind to have vitakka, cetasika in order to dwell on this object, or in order to take hold of this kind of meditation object. So because vitakka is necessary, then a person can only reach the 1st jhana with this kind of object. Because from the 2nd jhana onwards, vitakka being dropped, no? So without vitakka, the mind is not stable enough to hold this kind of rough and gross object. So therefore, for the asubha and the kaya gata sati, these objects can only lead one to the 1st jhana. Now, teachers made an example. They say that sometimes people, when they want to go upstream on a boat, they use a pole, no? Something very strong. to counteract with the current. Yeah. So these kind of objects, since they are very gross and strong, they are compared to the current. So we are trying to keep the mind stable and strong with the current. So this pole is compared to vitakka. We need vitakka in order for the mind to be steady, keep the mind steady, and hold these objects firmly. So therefore, vitakka is always necessary for these two meditation objects. Therefore, only first jhana can be attained with these two objects. Okay, then how about the other meditation objects? Let's take a look at the recollections. For the anusati, here we have 8 types. We have the Buddha nusati, Dhamma nusati, Sangha nusati, the recollection of the triple gems. Then we have the recollection of one's own pure sila, one's own generosity, and one's own good quality. Then we also have the recollection of death, then the recollection of the peace of nibbana, and we have one sanya, the particular sanya, the repulsiveness of food, and then we have the analysis of the 4 elements. Okay, so for these 8 type of recollection, the mind is actually a little bit busy when we are practicing with these objects. Let's say when we are reflecting on the different qualities of the Buddha, then the mind is thinking. So we are, let's say, reciting the different qualities, and we are understanding the meaning of the quality, and we are thinking about the qualities. So it involves a lot of vitakka here also. So it actually involves so much of thinking that it prevents the one-pointedness from gaining fixity that is necessary for the attainment of absorption. Therefore, here a lot of vitakka is necessary. So only upachara samadhi can be attained, but no appana samadhi. So that means no jhana can be obtained with this kind of objects. So 0 jhana. Because there are too much thinking, and the mind cannot be steady enough, one-pointed enough. So therefore, it can lead to a very high degree of concentration, but no jhanas. Okay, so you remember last time we talked about the 4 analysis of the 4 elements. So when we analyze anything or everything of this body to be made up of these 4 elements, we said that upachara samadhi can be attained, but no jhana can be obtained. But it is still very, very powerful, because this kind of concentration is very helpful for us to understand, for us to change to Vipassana meditation. Because when we analyze the body to be of these 4 types of elements, then the notion of the compactness of this body will get loose. And then slowly we'll understand that, we will understand the anatta nature. We understand that there is no substance, no abiding entity, and no person there actually, no man, no woman. It's only, this body is only made up of these 4 elements. It's a combination of the elements. So therefore, although this kind of practice cannot lead to any kind of jhana, it can still lead to a very high degree of samadhi, which will be very, very helpful to switch to Vipassana meditation. And also for the in the same way for these other recollections, although it cannot lead to any jhana, they can also lead to a very high degree of samadhi, which can be helpful for Vipassana meditation. So therefore, they are still actually very good. Okay, so there are 10 types of anusati. We have seen that for these 8, because it involved a lot of thinking, so no jhanas can be obtained. And then for the 32 parts of the body, we have already seen that it can lead to only to the first jhana, because vitakka is necessary. Then we still have anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing. And for anapana, it can lead to from the 1st to the 5th jhana. So anapana is a very good meditation tool because it is always with us. We don't have to especially make up anything, or we don't have to memorize anything. We just have to focus on the breath that is with us all the time. And it is a very powerful tool that can lead us from the first jhana up to the fifth jhana. And even the Buddha himself, he used to practice the anapanasati. So this is a very good object. Okay, so let's see another group. The next group is the Abiññā, the limitless. So we have metta, karuna, mudita, and upekkha. Now for the first three, metta, karuna, and mudita, it always involved somanassa during these three types of meditation. So necessarily, somanassa will always arise in association with metta, karuna, and mudita. Therefore, only until the fourth jhana can be attained with these three types of meditation object. Because in the fifth jhana, do you remember, it's associated with what kind of mental feeling? Upekkha, right? Yeah. So therefore, if it is somanassa must be there, then it is not possible to attain the fifth jhana, which associate with upekkha. So therefore, these three can only lead to the highest, the fourth rupavachara jhana. And on the other hand, for upekkha, although upekkha here, the cetasika that is important is the tattara-majjhata, not upekkha feeling, but still it associates with upekkha feeling. So therefore, we can attain the fifth jhana with this upekkha object. But be careful here, only the fifth jhana, not the first to the fifth, because again, since it is associated with upekkha, and the first, second, third, and fourth jhana always associate with some with piti and sukha also, so that's associating with somanassa. For that, it is not possible for upekkha to. So with upekkha object, we cannot attain the first to the fourth jhana. So now we may say, so what do we do? How do we jump? It's not possible to practice without the first four jhana and suddenly practice the fifth jhana. So it's very interesting here, actually. If one wants to attain the fifth jhana with this upekkha object, how it is done is actually one practice either of this meditation object first. So for example, one practice metta until the fourth jhana, and then we're thinking, like may all beings be happy, may all beings be well, may all beings be peaceful. Then we practice until the fourth jhana, and then at that time, we have to change from metta to upekkha by understanding that actually all beings have karma as their own property. They are heir of their own karma. So from metta, we need to change to upekkha. So this is how this fifth jhana of upekkha is being attained. So first, second, third, and fourth jhana must be attained through this metta, karuna, or mudita, and then later on change to upekkha. Okay, so that's the Abiññā. Then we have the four arupa jhana objects, and this is quite obvious. So each jhana will go to its correspondent jhana only, So for each object, the first jhana object will lead to only the first arupa jhana, second to the second arupa jhana, third to the third arupa jhana, and fourth to fourth arupa jhana, because they are very specific here, only for that kind of jhana. This object for this jhana only. Okay, so with this, we have seen which types of the meditation object will lead to which kind of jhana. So we have covered all the 40 meditation objects already, and you can also take reference from the table that I have sent before earlier. So here it is very clear that this table from the compendium of the comprehensive manual of the Abhidhamma. So we have the subjects here, all the different objects, and then we have the temperament, which kind of object is suitable for which kind of temperament. And then it also have the 3 stages of development that we have talked about. So which development it can attain. And then the sign, or also the preliminary sign, the learned or memorized sign, the counterpart sign, which sign can be obtained by this kind of meditation object. For example, you see here for the Buddhanusati, here the recollection of the qualities of the Buddha, since no jhana can be attained, none, here none. So this absorption development will not be, it is not available, no? And also the counterpart sign is also not available here. So in this table, then you can take a look if you are interested to see which kind of object can lead to which kind of jhana, and also about the temperaments and the nimitta and also the bhavana. Yes, Sanda?
Yes, I'm seeing here that, for instance, for the hateful temperament is loving and kindness, and for lustful is observing the 32 body parts. But and there are kind of opposites. So if you have one, you focus on decreasing the hate or decreasing the lustfulness. But for the faithful temperament, why is it? It seems that if you are investigating on the morality, generosity, the Buddha qualities, for the faithful temperament is not like this. Maybe being faithful is not something bad. Not
It's good,
something
actually. It's good. It's good. Maybe I don't know what image we have with the word faithful in English. Maybe we have a different feeling to it, but let's remember it means sada. Sada, in this Pali term, sada, it means it can be translated as faith or as trust or as confidence, and it is a kusala cetasika, a beautiful cetasika. No, it only associates with the kusala or the beautiful chittas only. So this sada, this word, that's why I do encourage for everyone to know the Pali terms and use the Pali term, because in this case, we will have no confusion or any idea of the connotation that the word in other language might have, no? So for example, well, sada, definitely, it's something, it's a beautiful quality. Without sada, all kinds of kusala or all kinds of beautiful chitta is always associated with sada. So as you said, actually last week, we have also mentioned about this a little bit. Now, for some kind of meditation, the object, it directly counteracts with the type of personality or the quality that is not so good. No? Let's say the lustful quality, just like Sanda said right now, then if a person is lustful or has a lot of desire, then we want to look at the asubha, the non-beautiful, or the 32 parts of the body, because it directly counteracts with it. So it's like a cure, no? The cure for the sickness, no? And hateful, because the person has a lot of dosa, so we want to cultivate loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy. So it counteracts with the hate, with dosa, yeah? So for moha also, or for the discursive thinking person, then we want to keep the mind concentrated and calm. So we practice anapana and so on. So it counteracts with that. But for the sada and buddhi, the intellectual and the faithful, because they are good quality, we want to encourage them. We don't want to diminish them. We don't want to counteract with them. We actually want them to grow. We want this quality to grow, because they are good support for our practice. So if a person is already have this kind of quality, then we need to grow it with those objects that actually helps it. No? Because a person with sada, it's easy for that person to appreciate or to arouse a kind of appreciation for the Buddha, let's say, or for the generosity or for the Dhamma, because the person already have sada. So the mind will be very easily concentrated. It's objects that are suitable for their temperament. If a person is delighted on intellectual thinking or understanding, then contemplation of, let's say, of death or of the peace of nibbana, of this type of object encourages that kind of intellectual thinking, and the mind delights on that object, and it can concentrate easily on those kind of object because it matches its temperament. So therefore, we have objects that counteract with the temperament, and we have objects that supports the temperament when they are good qualities.
I was thinking more in terms of what we have talked about when we talked about the five powers, for instance, that even though they are good, sometimes you need to balance. And
Yeah,
I
they
was
do.
thinking in the sense of balancing the faithful and the intellectual, maybe when you're more inclined to intellectual side, to develop the faithful, the sadha, and the other way around. But it's a samadhi, and it makes sense what you are saying. It's not vipassana.
Yes, it is exactly the point. It is samadhi here. We want to get the mind concentrated, so it's good for this. But when we want to practice vipassana, of course, as you said, then we have to balance the intellect with faith, let's say, and we have to practice balance samadhi with effort. And mindfulness is always helpful to keep everything in balance. So all five spiritual faculties must be developed, and they must be in balance. And that is important for vipassana. Okay, thank you, Sanda. Okay, so up to here, then we have finished introducing which kind of objects will lead to which kind of jhana. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about the signs here, about the nimitta. Now we have seen that we have the preliminary sign, the learned sign, and the counterpart sign, right? So let's say, let's take the example of this color kasina. So when the person is just starting the meditation, so we actually have the color plate there, and we're looking at it. At this point, this sign is called the preliminary sign, the parikama nimitta. And when the person has it memorized, so after closing the eyes, he or she can already see this image in the mind. That is called the learned or memorized sign, ugaha nimitta. And then we have the counterpart sign when the image becomes clearer and clearer as the five hindrances are being suppressed and the mind becomes more focused, more concentrated, and more clear. Then for this kind of kasina or for color this, it most probably will turn into something like a very polished mirror without any fault, without any no cracks, not like the earth disc or anything that the color board itself might have some imperfection also. But at this point, when it becomes a counterpart sign, it will become very perfect. So for the preliminary sign and the memorized sign, it is actually still paramatta. It is actually still ultimate reality, because it is rupa. No, we are actually looking at the physical object itself, its color itself. Color is a rupa, right? So it is still a paramatta object, but when it becomes a counterpart sign, then it has totally become a concept. It's not ultimate reality anymore. It becomes panyati here in the counterpart sign. So it is important because all, besides the two kinds of the arupa jhana, the second and the fourth arupa jhana object, all the other samatha meditation objects are all panyati. They are all concept. They are not ultimate reality. Ultimate reality are the object of vipassana meditation. No? So for samatha meditation, it's besides that two arupa object, it's all panyati. It's all panyati, always panyati. Okay. So when we see in the stages at this point, during the preliminary development, it is still the Paramata object, and when counterpart sign appears in the mind that it totally becomes a concept, then that concept will be the object of the Upachara Bhavana and Apana Bhavana. So it's concept here. Okay, so now concerning the preliminary sign and the memorized or learned sign and the counterpart sign, for some kind of objects, sometimes they are not so clear. Let's say, for example, for Anapanasati, sometimes people say it is said that according to the temperament or the personality of the meditator, different people see different things. So there can be a great deal of variety of how this sign can appear. Some people may see it like clouds, and some people may see it like a bright star, and some people may see it like smoke, or some people may see it like bright light. So depending on the person, the counterpart sign for Anapana can be different. So it depends on the meditator. So there is not an exact clear object of how the counterpart sign will appear in the mind of the meditator. And for example, for Buddhanusati, so when we practice Buddhanusati, we are concentrating on the quality of the Buddha, right? So it is very hard to tell then what is the preliminary sign and what is the learned sign or the Ugaha Nimitta. Well, when do we consider it a preliminary nimitta, parikama nimitta, and when do we consider it Ugaha Nimitta? So there is no specific point of how to separate them. But it is said that maybe, Sayadaw Silananda, he said that maybe when the qualities of the Buddha are not so clear in the mind yet, then maybe we can consider that the parikama nimitta, the preliminary sign. And when it becomes very clear, the qualities, then we might consider it the Ugaha nimitta, the learned sign. But since the Buddhanusati will not lead to any kind of jhana, so there are no counterpart sign at all here for this object. Okay, so that's about a little bit about the signs, the nimitta, that sometimes it may be different for the different kinds of object. Okay, so after a person getting the first jhana, if the person wants to continue to go to practice the second jhana, before he or she do so, it is necessary for the person to first master the first jhana. He or she must be very skillful for the first jhana before he or she can continue to practice the second jhana. Because if the person just get the first jhana and he or she is not skillful yet, and but they try to practice the second jhana, they can fall actually. They can fall, even the first jhana can fall. So the teacher said that one must be very skillful in the first jhana before getting into the practice of the second jhana. And what do we mean by skillful or having mastery? So there are 5 kinds of mastery. So these 5 will be kind of a guideline to see until what level is one considered to be skillful in this jhana. So we're ready to practice the next level, no? Okay, so the first mastery is called the mastery in adverting, the awajhana. Second one is called the mastery in attainment or entering into jhana, samapajhana. And then the third one is called mastery in resolution, adhitthana. So that's the duration, how long one wants to stay in that jhana. Then we have the mastery in emergence or getting out of the jhana, utthana. And the last one is the mastery in reviewing, paccekakkhana. So this is a list only, but we'll go into them one by one. So what does it mean by mastery in adverting, awajhana? That is the ability to advert to the different jhana factors very quickly in accordance with one's wish. Now, when a person get the first or second or any jhana and coming out from that jhana, let's say the first jhana, when one emerge or come out from the first jhana, what happens next is that some kind of reviewing process will happen. So let's say this jhana, and coming out from the jhana. So bhavanga, manodvara jhana. And then in this reviewing process, the person will take, let's say, first vitaka. With this manodvara jhana chitta, the person will take the vitaka jhana factors for review. And after that, the person will take the next jhana factor, vichara, and review it. And after that, one by one, piti, sukha, and ekagata. So one by one, the person will review the jhana factors that was strong during the jhana. No? So this mastery in averting means the power of this manodvara avajana chitta, that how the person is skillful in taking the different kind of jhana factors very quickly and very easily according to the person's wish. Let's say I will now review vitaka, I will now review piti, I will now review ekagata, like that. So according to the person's wish, then he or she can very quickly switch and review on each different jhana factors. So it is said that when one have mastery, then there will be a very little bhavanga happening in between this reviewing process. So that very quickly, one after the other, the person can review the manodvara avajana chitta, can take those jhana factors very quickly. That's the first mastery. Okay, now the second one is called the mastery in attainment, or in other words, in entering into the jhana. No? So that means the person can enter into that specific jhana very quickly without many bhavanga in between. So let's say the person is just having a normal daily sense sphere mind door process. So without many bhavanga, then that person can enter jhana very quickly and very easily according to his or her own desire. So here, that's the mastery of entering into jhana. So very quickly, when one wants, just enters into the jhana very quickly. Again, that it is said that there's very little bhavanga in between. Okay, now the third one is called mastery in resolution, adhitthana. That means the person is very skillful in making the resolution of the duration of how long he or she wants to stay in that jhana. Before entering into this jhana process, the person will make a resolution, say, I'd like to stay in this jhana for exactly 1 hour. So after 1 hour, the person will emerge from this jhana. No? So making that resolution and staying for that duration is third type of the mastery. And the fourth one is actually connected. That is the mastery of emerging or getting out from that jhana. So let's say the person decided I will stay for 1 hour. So exactly after 1 hour, the person will emerge from that jhana. Not 1 hour and 3 minutes, or not like 54 minutes, not like that, but exactly after 1 hour, that the person will be able to emerge from that jhana. So that is skillful, that is mastery. No? So if the person can do that, decide the time and exactly make that happen, so that is called skillfulness. Okay, the fifth one is called mastery in reviewing, paccekakkhana. It's a little bit similar with the first one. So we have said that after emerging from the first jhana, let's say, then there will be a reviewing process. So the person will take the jhana factors and review it. Now here, the only difference from the first one is that the first one is the power of the manodvara vajana chitta, no? It is the averting. So the mind very quickly avert to take different types of jhana factors to review. But here, it is the power of the jhavanas. So the jhavanas are very skillful in reviewing that specific jhana factor that is being averted by the Manodawara Ajana Chitta. And again, it is said that there will be very little bhavangas in between. So that means that the mind is very powerful and it's working very quickly, not much bhavanga. So the person is very skillful in entering, in coming out, and in reviewing and going into the different jhana factors. So when a person can have mastery over these 5 things, it is said that the person is ready to continue practice to a higher level. So let's say from the first jhana to the second jhana and so on. Okay, so until here, we have seen a lot about the jhana practice already. Yes, Edith?
So in the adverting mastery, you're saying that the mind would take all of the jhana factors to
One by one.
like in the review. I thought that only the courses. So for going to the second jhana, basically the mind would find Vitakka as the most courses, right? And then it abandons it. But I didn't think that all and the last 4 jhana factors are also reviewed in that moment.
Let's say when a person, when he or she comes out, emerges from the first jhana, he or she will review all the jhana factors that are involved there. So 5 of them. And the person will review that. And then because the person is not totally ready to practice the second jhana just after first attaining the first jhana, and also he or she must practice the first jhana a lot in order to become skillful or to have mastery. So he or she will have to be very skillful in reviewing all of them first. And then later, when he or she is ready to practice the second jhana, then in reviewing the first one, then maybe as you said at that time, then he or she will consider the vitakka too close to sense desire, and therefore will want to drop it. At that time. But until the person is ready to practice the second jhana, when he or she emerges from the first jhana, the reviewing process will take the 5 jhana factors one by one to review them.
Yeah, but that to me means that the person has the mastery of reviewing of the first one, and not not just the adverting mastery.
Yes, so therefore the 5th mastery, the first mastery, and the 5th mastery.
Okay, I get it now. I mean, I get it, but yeah.
So in the just maybe one before. Okay, in this one. So in the first mastery, which is the averting, the power is in the Manodawara Vajana Chitta. So the power for Manodawara Vajana Chitta to advert the mind to whichever jhana factor that the person wants to review. Say, now I want to take PT, so we'll take PT. Now I want to take Ekagata, I will take Ekagata. So the Manodawara is the power of Manodawara is called the mastery in adverting. And then the mastery of reviewing is the power of the jhavanas. These jhavanas will actually review it, no? So so that means it's divided into 2 kinds of mastery, but it almost like happened at the same time, no, one after the other, like the power of the averting and then the power of the reviewing, both are important, no? So the mind goes to each jhana factor, whichever the person wants to, and review also will be very skillfully, masterfully review that one that is being taken.
Yeah, so it seems to me that even the mastery are very intertwined.
Oh yes, of course, because although we separate or we talk about it separately, but they are not. They are together. They are together because in the reviewing process, after Manodhara, Jhana immediately happens. So the mastery, meaning that Manodhara must also be skillful, jhanas must also be skillful. And then during the jhana process also, when to go in, when to come out, making the resolution of the duration of staying, and all those, they are actually in the flow of the mind or processes, no? It's just a specific point that we are saying in which point that the person is being skillful at only. Let's take a 5 minutes break, and then we will come back for a little bit more. Okay, see you in 5 minutes. Okay, so we have talked about jhanas, and now we are going to take a look at Abiññā, and then if we have enough time, we will take a little bit look of Vipassana as well. With Abiññā, we know that it is being developed after a person attained jhana, no? So Abiññā, this word, it is translated into different English words. Sometimes it is said supernormal power. Sometimes it is translated as direct knowledge, which I think is a better translation. Now, Abiññā is actually the fifth jhana, especially developed. It's not an ordinary fifth jhana. After the yogi get the fifth jhana, it has to be specially developed for it to become Abiññā. A person who wants to perform Abiññā or the supernormal powers usually must have all 9 types of jhana, so including arupa jhana. Although the Abiññā itself is based on the 5th Rupavachara jhana, it is said that usually for a person to gain the Abiññā power, he or she must have very, very strong concentration. So usually they have all 9 jhanas. But there are some exceptional cases also. So let's say if a person has practiced jhana in a very recent life, or the person was a Brahma in a recent life, so this person still have this kind of quality is still very strong in that person. So the person may attain the Abiññā quality with only the 5th Rupavachara jhana without the arupa jhanas. It is also possible. But usually, for a person who gets Abiññā, usually he or she have all 9 jhanas. Okay. So in ultimate reality, Abiññā, direct knowledge, is actually Paññā associated with the 5th Rupavachara jhana. It can be Kusala for non-totally enlightened being, and Kriya for Arahants. So in ultimate reality, it is actually wisdom itself, Paññā itself. Now you will see that there are 6 types of different Abiññā. Well, we have actually seen some of them. Maybe we didn't see the last one. Yeah, anyway, in previous chapter, in chapter 4, when we introduced the jhana mental processes as well as the Abiññā processes, we have already seen this, but we'll just quickly go through it again as a revision. So we have 6 types of direct knowledge. The first one is called the Idivida, various kind of supernormal power. That's the power of creating forms, flying through air, walking on water, going through walls, diving into the earth, and so on. So this is one type of supernormal power. And then we have a second type, which is called the Divasota, the divine ear. This is the ability to hear subtle or cross sound from far or near. So the person with this power can listen, can hear the sound even from the other realms also. It is possible, very, very far or very near, cross or subtle. Then we have another type, which is called Paracita Vijanana or Cetopariya Jnana, the ability to read the mind of others. So this is the power of penetrating the mind of others to discern their thoughts, reading the thoughts of other people. And another type, the fourth type is the Pubeniwasa Nusati, the ability to remember former existence, the power to remember one's former existence and the former worlds in which one has lived. So this is when the person have this kind of ability, that he or she will know where they were born previously, what kind of life they lived, how long they lived, what kind of food they eat, who was his family, and so on. So they can recollect what happened in their past births. Then we have another type of power that's called the Diva-Chakku, the divine eye. That's the knowledge, that this knowledge of the divine eye enables one to see subtle or coarse things far or near, and also other realm or planes also. But of course, this is not to see with the physical eye, but with the mind. So there is also other types, also other variety of this Diva-Chakku. One can also see the passing away and rebirth of other beings. That's the direct perception of how beings pass away and reborn in accordance with their karma. Or as another variety of Diva-Chakku, one can also see the future existence and of future worlds also. So there's 5 kinds of different Abiññā that associate with the 5th jhana, with the supernormal power. And then we have another type of Abiññā, that this direct knowledge is also called Abiññā, but that's the Asavakaya Jnana, the knowledge of the destruction of things. And this is a special one because this kind of power is not developed through Samatha meditation, but this is a super mundane power that arises through Vipassana meditation, and it belongs only to the Arahants. Only Arahants have this kind of direct knowledge, the knowledge of the destruction of all things. So since this is not being developed by Samatha meditation, but because it is also direct knowledge, so it is also included as a kind of Abiññā. So even the Arahant, if an Arahant only practice Vipassana and become an Arahant, does not have any jhana, he or she will still possess this kind of Abiññā, which is called the Asavakaya Jnana. So therefore, sometimes when we see this word Abiññā, we have to be a little bit careful because it does not always mean supernormal power that is associated with the jhanas. So sometimes in the texts or in the suttas, you will see this word Abiññā, but it could mean this Asavakaya Jnana, meaning it has to do with Vipassana. It has to do with the Arahants, of the destruction of all the taints, all the kilesas, So this is also called a direct knowledge. Okay, so here we have seen that we have 6 kinds of Abiññās, and then these ones here, if you count them one by one, then we may say there are 8 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these 7 of them is considered mundane. This kind of direct knowledge are dependent on the mastery over the 5th jhana. But also that means if one do not have the 5th jhana, we cannot get this kind of Abiññās. But this last one, the Asavakaya Jnana, is super mundane. So all Arahants have this direct knowledge, the knowledge of the destruction of all taints. So sometimes in different texts, in suttas, when you may find that Abiññās are classified into 6 types. If it is classified into 6 types, it is as what we see right now. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then with the Diva-Chakku, these 2 are included. So this is 5th and then 6th. Then if you see sometimes it's classified into 7 Abiññās, 7 types. I think in chapter 4, we have studied 7 types. At that time, that would be only these ones that are associated with the jhanas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this one is apart. And this This one that is the destruction of taints, direct knowledge of destruction of taints is apart. So if it is classified into 7 abhiññās, most probably it's only talking about the supernormal power that is associated with the 5th jhana. All right, so let's go through a little bit very quickly of how this abhiññā is being attained. First of all, if a person that has already developed abhiññā, and also the person has already practiced the 5th jhana, attained all the jhanas, and he or she practiced and got the abhiññā, and how does the person enters the abhiññā? Now, when a person wants to perform any kind of supernormal power, he or she must first enter into the 5th rupa jhana process as the basis, as the basic process for the preliminary process. So we have to enter into the 5th jhana, and then after that, he or she will emerge from that 5th jhana, and then there will be a sense sphere javana mind door process, kama javana mind door process. And in this mind door process, the person will make the resolution of what he or she wants to do. Let's say he or she will direct the mind to the thought to, may I see the Deva realms, for example. Okay, so after that, then the person will enter into the 5th jhana again as the basic process for the abhiññā. And then after emerging from that, then the abhiññā process will arise. This abhiññā process is actually a special 5th jhana process. So instead of jhana here, one abhiññā chitta will arise here, but only for once, and it's very, very powerful. So this process will happen once, and then after that, the person will have that power to do what he or she has made resolution in doing. So after that, and other types of mind door process will continue to happen for as long as the person wishes to stay with that abhiññā power. And say the person have made the resolution to see the Deva works. So at this time, with this kama and javana mind door process, the person will see what's happening in the Deva realm in his mind, in his or her mind. No? Okay, so that's how a person perform the supernormal power. So first, a basic 5th jhana process, make the resolution, another the 5th jhana basic process, then the abhiññā vritti will arise. Once he or she gets the power, then he or she can perform the task that they want to do. And after that, the person will, if he or she thinks that, okay, that's enough now, I do not want to use this abhiññā power anymore, then the mind will just be directed into the usual normal kind of mental process that runs all the time, and then that will be it. All right, up till here, we have finished with the abhiññā very quickly because it's just a review. We have already seen it in chapter 4. So here we have concluded all about Samatha meditation in chapter 9 already. So from now on, we are going to enter into Vipassana. So welcome to the Vipassana section, everyone. And this is very important because the whole study of the Abhidhamma Sanghaha, learning about what is mind, learning about what is matter, learning about the mental processes, and all have this purpose of coming to the Vipassana practice, because it is only through Vipassana practice that defilements can be eradicated. So that's the teaching of the Buddha, is actually Vipassana is the most important point. No? This is how we get out of samsara. No, it is true Vipassana practice. So let's take a look of this Vipassana, the word itself. Vi means in various way. Passana means to see, seeing or knowing. So Vipassana means seeing in various way, in different ways, or in a special way. So how, in what kind of way? So that means seeing in various way means seeing mind and matter, or seeing all conditioned things as anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Now repeat this. Seeing in various ways means seeing mind and metta, nama and rupa, or all conditioned things as impermanent, anicca, as suffering, dukkha, and as non-self, anatta. So this is vipassana. So these three characteristics, anicca, dukkha, and anatta, is very important for vipassana. If we are not seeing the things with this anicca, dukkha, and anatta, that's not vipassana yet. Of course, there are different stages and different steps which we are going to go through also in this chapter 9. There are 7 stages of purification and 10 different kinds of different steps of vipassana knowledge, vipassana jnana, and we will also go through that. In terms of comparison, let's see what's the difference between samatha and vipassana. Now, samatha is the meditation which calms or subdues mental hindrances and mental defilements, so the nivaranas and the kilesas. And for vipassana meditation, it is the meditation to eradicate all kilesas. And how? By developing sila, samadhi, and panya. So morality, stability or concentration of mind, and wisdom. Now, the main point here is eradicate and subdue, yeah, because they both deals with the kilesas, but for samatha meditation, it can only temporarily suppress or subdue the mental hindrances, but it cannot totally uproot it. So for eradication, it must be done by vipassana meditation. So the total eradication and abandonment must be done through the practice of sila, samadhi, and panya. So that's the difference of samatha meditation and vipassana meditation. Okay, now in ultimate reality, vipassana meditation is actually panya, while samatha meditation is ekaggata. Its concentration is samadhi, yeah? So vipassana, we can say that it is a synonym with panya or amoha, while samatha is synonym with samadhi. But of course, we know that when we say the wisdom of vipassana, the insight, wisdom, it's not only wisdom itself, no? Because there is no cetasika that arises alone. Right? In the citta that is associated with panya, also the noble eightfold path that needs to be developed, all those other cetasikas are also important and they are together. But we must say that the chief here is panya, and for samatha meditation, the chief is ekaggata, is samadhi. Okay, so sometimes here's just a little point. If you see in the suttas or in the text, if you see this word samatha, so since we know that it has the synonym, it is synonymous with samadhi, we have to be a little bit careful, because many times when we see the word samatha, we immediately associate it with samatha meditation, or we think. But sometimes this word, depending on the context, it can mean samadhi. So it does not necessarily mean samatha meditation, but this word can also mean samadhi. So sometimes it can mean samadhi that is associated with vipassana meditation also. So sometimes some people believe that because of reading some suttas, then they see the word samatha and vipassana. Then sometimes some people believe that we must first develop jhana before practicing vipassana. But this is not exactly the case. Also, we know that there are different ways of attaining enlightenment. Some can go with jhana, some without also. So be careful with this word samatha. Yeah. Okay. So we have seen that for vipassana, it means seeing in various ways, seeing conditioned things as anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So these 3 characteristics are of utmost importance for vipassana. We are to see them in all kinds of conditioned phenomena. Now, what are these 3 characteristics? I think we have already talked about it previously, and you might be quite familiar with it. So we'll just go through them quickly. The 3 universal characteristics, anicca, dukkha, and anatta. The first one, anicca, impermanence. Now, impermanence is something that we see all the time in our life, even in nature, in our daily life. So that means something that disappeared after its arising. So rise and fall, no? Now, sometimes we may say that the things arises and then they change, they transform into something else. Yeah. So we say this caterpillar becomes this cocoon becomes this butterfly, right? So they are changing, right? Changing is also one characteristic, but it is actually more than that. Sometimes we also see things that arise and then they just disappear. Arise and then it's no more. It does not transform into anything else. Well, sometimes science also say that nothing disappear, they only transform. But in ultimate reality, everything just arises and passes away and it is no more. Whatever we think that it has changed or it has become is actually something else that arises in place of the other thing. So let's say the caterpillar became the cocoon, no? But it's actually the caterpillar arise and then there is no more caterpillar, and then a cocoon arise because of other conditions. And then when the cocoon passes away, then there's no more cocoon and becomes a butterfly. No, the cocoon actually did not transform into a butterfly itself. No, the rupa itself did not change into something else. So what we are talking about here, we have to remember, although in daily life, daily examples, we can see this anicca very clearly, still we have to go back into ultimate reality. We are talking about nama and rupa. No? So to be precise, here, anicca, we mean the arising of one chitta, it exists and then it passes away. Another chitta arises, another chitta passes away, like that. And rupa also has its existence, arise and then exist and then passed away. So anything that has a beginning and has an end, we can consider or we can say that that is impermanent. So after arising, it passes away. And that arising and disappearing is the mark of anicca. It's the mark of anicca. So during Vipassana meditation, we may notice that one thought arises and then it disappeared, and then another thought arises and disappeared, and then another thought arises and then it disappeared. So by seeing these things arising and passing, then we can understand that it is changing, it's always changing. That's anicca, that's impermanence. Or sometimes we hear a sound or some music and then it passes away. Then we hear another sound and it arises and passes away. Hear another sound and it arises and passes away. It never stays there forever. No, it always arises and it's always gone. So again, that is the mark of impermanence. That's how we understand that things are not permanent. Okay, concerning the second characteristic, dukkha, it is usually translated as suffering and sometimes translated as unsatisfactoriness. Now, when we see the word suffering, we usually associate it with some kind of pain, no? Of like suffering, painful feeling like that. But it is not necessarily just painful. Now, even sometimes when there are things that are happy, that we consider these things are good, they do not last. No? They end up being unsatisfactory. Say we are healthy now, but we do not stay healthy all life all the time. We're bound to get sick also. Now, even the best, the most perfect vacation holiday comes to an end and we have to go back to work. Or let's say something more permanent, like let's say, how about a house? No? But still, with time, it cannot stay forever. It's bound to change. It will fall. And if we do not do any maintenance, we'll get into great trouble. And even little children knows about this. We used to work with children from age around 8 to 12. So one time we asked them, we said, okay, look at this boy, he's eating an ice cream. No, you think he's happy? Yeah, he looked very happy. Yeah, he's having an ice cream. So we asked them, now how long do you think this ice cream can make him happy? Then the kids, 8 years old, and said, as long as the ice cream lasts. Exactly. Even children know that, right? So that's not forever. As long as the ice cream is there, we're happy. But after that, it's no more. We have to look for it again. We have to get another ice cream. So dukkha, that's dukkha because it's unsatisfactory. It doesn't stay the same, and it always changes. And at the end, it becomes unsatisfactory, right? Okay, so here, for this universal characteristic, is actually even more than that. It's not just the changing or the unsatisfactoriness of these things, but it is the constant oppression by rise and fall is what is meant by dukkha here. So whatever is constantly oppressed by arising and disappearing is dukkha. So what is constantly arising and disappearing? Nama and rupa, no? It's constantly arising and passing, arising and passing, arising and passing, no break at all. So actually all conditioned things arise and passes away. So all the aggregates of clinging is dukkha. That's what the Buddha said. No? Even sukha is dukkha because it arises and it passes, arises and passes. So anything that is being oppressed by arising and disappearing is what is meant by dukkha here. Now we're talking about all conditioned things. So besides nibbana, basically everything are conditioned. Yeah, we have seen even in our daily experience in our daily life, we know that to have an apple is not just only a seed. No, many things are necessary. We need soil, we need rain, we need sun, we need minerals, and we need the temperature influences and little bugs influences. So there are many conditions for some effects to arise, right? So in nature, we can see this very clearly. And even in our own experience, when we say we see something, it's not just only we see something, no? We need Chakku Pasada, we need eye sensitivity, we need an object to see, we need light, we need attention. So these are also conditioned. Seeing also depends on many conditions for it to arise. But unfortunately, we usually think that things arise because of me, because I'm looking at this, because I'm seeing this, because I like this, because everything is because of I, yeah? Even there are scientific findings that in the brain, it has been proven that there isn't any part of the brain that is a central commander, no? So each part just do their own job. There is no director there. There is no any single part of the brain that directs, oh, you do this, you do that, and you do this. So no, there's only just different parts doing different jobs. So there is no director of this orchestra of what we call I or my life, actually. Everything depends on conditions. And that is what is called anatta, non-self. It's not me, depends on conditions. There is also another sign or mark of non-self, of anatta, and that is the uncontrollable fact of it. So everything is actually out of our control. We don't have much control over anything at all now. Also, if we think about it, how about our body? Do we have control over our body? The white hair keeps coming out, and then sometimes we get sick, even if we don't want to, and we get old, and we are bound to die. So we have no control over this body at all. Okay, so let's see, how about the mind? Do we have control? Can we stop Chitta and Cetasika from arising? We can't. It arises and it disappears according to its own nature, according to conditions, and we cannot do anything about it. So even if we put it into a more daily life example, how about our thoughts, our mind, and our emotions? Do we really have control over it? Can we be happy all the time without getting irritated, without getting afraid or anything? Is it possible? Well, it is possible when we attain arahantship, when we have total control of the mind. But since we don't have enough wisdom yet, whenever a situation is presented, something when we are driving, a mosquito, a traffic jam, someone says something that I don't like, a flat tire, something broke. So whenever a situation appears, then this mind immediately reacts, no? Even in this daily experience. So we do not actually have control over many things, not the body, not our thoughts, not our emotions or the mind itself. So if we have no control over something, can we actually call this I, me, or mind? Well, so that is the third characteristic, anatta, the non-self, So that's the three universal characteristics, anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So anicca, impermanence, that's the disappearing after arising. And dukkha, the unsatisfactoriness, or to be more precise, the constantly being oppressed by rise and fall. And then the non-self, and one has no control over anything. So these are the three universal characteristics. Now, when we see through Vipassana meditation, when we are practicing, we see how the sound is coming and going, the thoughts is coming and it is passing. We take one object and it passes, and we take another object and it passes. So when we keep practicing and looking at the arising and the passing and the arising and the passing of the things, we know that they are changing all the time, right? So that's the characteristic of anicca. And when we keep seeing things changing and changing and changing, then we have the sense, we build up the sense of the understanding of being oppressed by rise and fall, and that's dukkha. And if things arise and passes according to its own nature, and we have no control over it, that's anicca. I mean, that's anatta. That's non-self, no? So these three characteristics will become apparent to any meditator who practice Vipassana meditation. So we don't have to deliberately try to look for it or to try to see these characteristics in the practice. But when we go along with the meditation practice, when we keep looking, keep observing, then we begin to see the objects clearly. Then these characteristics will become very clear to the mind. It will very clearly present itself, then how mind and matter, how all conditioned things are anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And that is the practice of Vipassana. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, Claudia?
I just want to ask a question regarding the control. So, but in the reality, we have control over our action. So the free will, that they call it. So can you explain a little bit the difference between anatta and the free will, basically?
Okay. So now we understand that what is this mind made up of? This mind is just a flow of chitta, no? Chitta arises, passes away, arises and passes away, arises and passes away. So now we say we have control, or we have a choice to do good, let's say. Yeah, we can choose to be mindful, we can choose to practice. But actually, who is practicing? Who? Is there any person there? The mind is practicing itself. Panya is leading the way. Mindfulness is working. If there is enough condition, that there is good enough effort, then samadhi, concentration is good, mindfulness is there, then wisdom arises. When there is more wisdom, wisdom knows that it is good to practice. Wisdom guides the way to practice. Now, but sometimes the lobha also arise, dosa also arise, right? We don't actually have control of these things, now whether they arise or not at this point. Yeah, although we said we can choose to practice, we can choose to do good, but actually the mind itself is choosing. We do not choose. There is no one there. So there is this saying in the Visuddhimagga, the path exists, but not the traveler on it. Does it make sense? The path is there, but the traveler that is traveling on it do not exist. The path has to be walked, but there is no traveler there. So in the same way, the practice has to be done, but I do not do the practice. No. That doesn't mean of course, in conventional sense, we cannot say that, oh, so I don't have to do anything. I just leave the mind do its job. No. So it also doesn't work that way because we are responsible also. No. So until we understand how this I do not exist, we have to continue working, because sometimes even the Buddha, he used the word I in the conventional sense, no, for us to understand what needs to be done. Yeah. The Buddha said, be an island to yourself. No? So we have to do something in the sense that we have to cultivate those good qualities and let those good quality work. But in ultimate reality, that's just the chitta and cetasika arising and passing away. There is no one there.
So basically, till the stage of Sotapanna, we will never understand anatta fully.
Until then, experientially, yes. Maybe intellectually we can kind of think about it, but yes, until Sotapanna, yes, we'll totally understand.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, it's just perfect timing, 10:45. So if you do not have any question, then we will stop here and we will continue with the Vipassana practice, Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. We'll go to the 7 stages of purification and the 10 steps of Vipassana wisdom next week. Let's share merits, and also we dedicate our effort for the attainment of Nibbana. We hope this day that we understand that really there is no one there, will not be too far away. Okay, let's recite together. Itam no punyam nibbanasa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam nibbanasa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam nibbanasa pacheyo hotu. Itam no punyam sabasatanam bhajima. Itam no punyam sabasatanam bhajima. Itam no punyam sabasatanam bhajima. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you everyone. We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.